Does asset protection work? And what is asset protection supposed to do for you? My name is Jonathan Alper, and I'm an asset protection attorney practicing in Orlando, Florida. Asset protection is not designed to make you judgment-proof. Although many people feel that with good asset protection, it will be impossible for any creditor to levy upon their assets. My experience is that if a creditor is motivated and is willing to spend enough money and spend enough time going after an asset protection structure, they will eventually succeed in making the debtor come to the negotiating table and pay at least part, if not all, of the judgment. So what does asset protection accomplish? What asset protection is supposed to do is to make it very difficult for the creditor to get your assets even after a judgment, and to greatly enhance your negotiating position with the creditor as you attempt to reach a settlement of your legal disputes. Asset protection does not involve hiding assets. So don't think you're going to go into an asset protection process and put assets in other names where a creditor will never find them. The reason this doesn't work is that if a creditor gets a judgment against you, he can force you to testify under oath about any asset you have an interest in, directly or indirectly, or any asset you've had an interest in the recent past, directly and indirectly, and also ask you about retitling or transfer of assets. So assume that a creditor will find the location of all your assets. Asset protection does not involve a shell game to move assets around where they cannot be discovered. Also, asset protection is not tax planning. Asset protection has nothing to do with avoiding income tax. Yes, sometimes asset protection works together with estate planning and will often reduce your estate tax liability. But please do not confuse the asset protection process with the attempt to hide income from the IRS. What asset protection does involve is really two things. One is making sure you're properly using your exemptions. For example, sometimes people will not qualify for homestead protection in Florida, our basic asset protection tool, simply because the property is not titled correctly, or because the size of their lot exceeds the homestead limitations and people are unaware of these limitations. Secondly, asset protection involves transferring or retitling some assets in a way that does make it harder for a creditor to easily reach these assets. So, if you have a proper goal in mind, which is to increase your negotiating position and increase your protection so that you can most optimally settle your debts before and after judgment, then asset protection is something you should do. If you would like more help with your asset protection plan, give me a call. My phone number is 407-444-0404. Thanks for watching.